sorry. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Why We Love Horror. My name is JWMaher. It still says Fiorella and John over there. I gotta fix it.
Notice that.
She's not here, but that's Abby Brooks and Aaron Brooks. How are you guys doing today?
She's here.
Yes.
Hello, but we're good.
Yeah, I think we're doing great.
All right, that's cool. And we're here. It's live. This is a big event. It's probably the last big movie of the year. It's one that I was literally we were like, we should do our top 10s, and at various points we're like, no, we can't do that. Nosferatu hasn't come out yet. It's going to be on our top 10. So we will be coming to you next week, probably with our top 10s of 2024. But this week we are talking about Nosferatu.
Come to me. Professor, does evil come from within us or from beyond? He is coming.
He is coming.
He is coming to us.
He's coming.
Who's coming to you, my child? We are here encountering the vampire. Nosferatu.
Rated R. Only in theaters this Wednesday. Special engagements in Dolby and IMAX.
Special engagements. That's Nosferatu. It's Robert Eggers' latest movie. I'm a big fan of all his stuff. I've even come around in the stuff that I didn't like the first time. Aaron, I think you're a bigger fan though. So if you want to go ahead, I'll give you the honors.
Yeah, I am the biggest fan of Robert Eggers. No, I'm a huge fan of him, and I feel like Nosferatu. It's the culmination of what he's been building up to for his career. Do I really have to do a synopsis of this movie?
You shouldn't have to. I mean, it's every movie. I mean, if you've seen Nosferatu, or if you've seen Dracula, or Dracula, or Dracula, or Dracula, or Dracula, you've seen this movie.
It's about the fears of real estate, as we all know. And,
yes.
So it is this is the extended cut of the story, essentially, of Count Orlok trying to, basically buy a place and move, and take over.
House Hunters, Germany.
Yeah, and it is great. Really had a lot of great hype going into it for me, which is always a difficult way to go into a movie. For me, at least, I was definitely expecting to really like it, but there was also a lot of kind of questions I had going into the movie with certain casting for sure. Lily Rose Depp was one of my big question marks going into the movie, and leaving the movie, she was my highlight of the movie. I think of a bunch of standouts, everybody was great in this movie. I think Lily Rose Depp, cue the Shaq meme. I was not familiar with your game. I apologize.
The dude that played Kraven the Hunter was in it. It's crazy. He has 2 movies in theaters right now.
Yeah, he's just double threat. Which one's better?
I don't know. Nicholas Hoult is in a bunch of movies right now. Oh my, they're taking over the theaters. Abby, what are your initial thoughts? What's your first big takeaway of Nosferatu?
Yeah, so I mean, I loved this movie a lot. I wasn't super familiar with the actual Nosferatu from the 20s, and then I think there was another one that came out. I've seen some of the Dracula movies. I really recently actually watched the first Dracula movie. So I had that little bit of background. But the movie from the 20s, I've only seen little bits and pieces. They showed it to us in middle school at one point. And I've also seen the SpongeBob episode. So that's my only real connection to it. So I wasn't super aware of a lot of the details of the story. Again, I think the vibes of this movie are great. It's very dark. It's very gross and grimy looking. And then again, what Aaron was saying, the whole cast, there's really not a weak link in this movie, like at all. I think in particular, again, like Aaron said, Lily Rose Depp, I was very surprised about her. Like I'm really surprised because most of the things that I've kind of seen her in, she wasn't that great in. But I was surprised about the whole connection. I think one of the bigger plots in this movie is there's a weird connection between her and Count Orlok, this weird like love thing. I was really surprised about that, and I thought that was a really interesting like plot point that was in there also. But yeah, I really loved almost everything about this movie.
I'm going to say what everybody else is probably already thinking. Like the greatest marketing thing around this movie is all of the trailers, no matter which of the trailers you saw, you never saw Bill Skarsgård as Orlok. You just saw the silhouette, and even the silhouette doesn't even look like how he looks. He is unrecognizable under the makeup. Like if you told me it wasn't him, if you told me it was Martin Short, I believe you, because like voice, body type, everything, he disappears into Count Orlok, and I think he does a fantastic job as well. I'm glad they held that back 1,000%, and I'm glad they did because the creature design, I guess I'll say creature design, even though he's a humanoid, is tops in this movie.
Yeah, and I guess you could. This is a spoiler review. I don't know if we need to flag the spoilers or not, but with regards to if you're going to talk about spoilers, with how he looks off the bat, I wasn't at first. It wasn't my Nosferatu, is how I felt about it, and that isn't a great way to go with it. But that was kind of my reaction at first. I had an expectation with what Nosferatu looks like, and it's long, gangly, pale. That's every time. Like you gotta be long, gangly, and pale. Like Robert Eggers goes a different route with it in this movie. And I did do some research. I was talking with Abby about this as well. And of course, like if I knew it wasn't just Robert Eggers wanted a beefier, mustache-looking Dr. Robotnik style Nosferatu. I knew there was more to it than that. And with my research, I do think that most likely he was taking inspiration from Vlad the Impaler around the 15th century, which
I was gonna say he looks like a medieval, like Eastern European guy.
Yeah, and Vlad the Impaler, also known as Vlad the Dracul, I believe he's known as, from Transylvania. And yeah, it wasn't my favorite. It was probably one of the aspects of this movie that I didn't love, honestly. It didn't matter to me at all because everything else in this movie, from the costume design to the mustaches of everybody, including Orlok, to the natural lighting, which I was a huge fan of. Maybe some people won't be, but I saw this in the beautiful Dolby Atmos screen right beforehand. Barry Jenkins was talking all dead-eyed about how much he loved making Mufasa. It was really funny. Like, he's just like, it was incredible. Like, anyways, like, it was pre-Barry Jenkins, but that's a whole nother horror story there. But with this, it just, like, I didn't love the design, but it was effective for what they were going for. And it was like a much more like brutal style of Nosferatu here. And of course, it was historically based from Robert Eggers. It makes sense that everything with this guy is. So, and
one of my genre heroes, Ralph Ineson, in this movie, also killing it. Ralph, we see you. Not many people say your name, sir.
Yeah,
we love you, Mr. Innocent.
Yes, sir.
Abby, back to you. What's another thing that people should be talking about?
I mean, I think there's a lot of also like really great scenes in this movie. Particularly the opening scene. Like, I love, like, we talked about this with Longlegs when that first came out. If a movie has like a really good like opening scene that just really is like, that's really awesome. I thought that this movie had a great opening scene. It's with Lily Rose Depp, and it kind of also shows like what you're in for with her. Like, right away you see her, she's doing like, she does this a lot in the movie, that like this weird like convulsing kind of thing, and then you get this view of Bill Skarsgård as Count Orlok. It's really it's a really great opening scene, and it lets you know right off the bat what you're in for. I think also in particular, I think Nicholas Hoult really did a really good job in this movie. There's a particular scene, and I like what Robert Eggers does with like color in this movie too. It like switches back and forth kind of between black and white, but then also like actual color. I don't know why, but it looks really cool. Like the movie itself just looks really good. But there's a scene where he's first showing up to the castle, and it's just this scene where like he's looking down this like long hallway, or not hallway, but like woodsy thing. The carriage shows up, he goes to the castle, and just like the acting that he did in this whole scene where he's going to the castle and meeting Orlok for the first time, and just like the fear that he has on his face, like I thought was really, really good and really impressive. There's a lot of scenes like that where just everyone does really amazing.
I think one of my favorite parts, and I don't mean to take it lightly, but it is funny to me. Like the men of medicine, men of science having no fucking idea what they're doing. Like she's like clearly like in the grips of like a supernatural being, and it's like some more ether for you, dear. Here you go. Or like you know, or
and this is
doing bloodletting and all this crap. Like it's really they really hit the nail on the head with exactly how these like Victorian era German people would respond to this kind of threat.
Yeah, and there's like a lot of natural humor in this movie, which is another thing I was not expecting at all, and does not remove from the tension either, other than maybe one line from Willem Dafoe's character where he says like, this would make Sir Isaac Newton crawl back into his mother's womb. Yeah. Like that line was a little bit probably was Willem Dafoe improvising, if I had to guess, and I'll allow it. But yeah, that was the only time I wanted to actually like laugh out loud. It took me out of the tension just for a second, but the rest of like the humor, like with the ether and everything, and just there's other moments where like Robert Eggers, I won't be on a first name basis with him at this point. He's able to let the humor come through and not look at the camera and be like he'd never. I know, and it's just like, needless to say, the way this world is built by him, literally built by him, like these castles, they look like they're from the time period. They're so epic. There's some great shots. I don't know if the aspect ratio ever changes in the movie, but if it doesn't, it sure feels like it does with how close the camera gets at times, and other times zooms out. From the trailer, we saw the Orlok's hand over the city. That's the best shot from the movie. So again, didn't need to see that in the trailer, so I'm glad I didn't watch the trailers. Enjoy that but it's still, once you get the context of it, it adds to it. And I don't know if these shadows were practical or CGI, and that's how CGI should be done.
Yeah. We also get like a 4-scene like juxtaposition of the Last Voyage of the Demeter, which is better than the Last Voyage of the Demeter. And I liked the Last Voyage of the Demeter. So that happens too in this movie. You get the entire movie in like 4 scenes, and it's great.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think I even said to Abby during the movie, this is better than the Last Voyage of the Demeter.
This 5 minutes is better than that whole movie.
Shocker. Yeah, put Robert Eggers with David Dastmalchian. Go ahead and do that.
I'd love to see it. Coming soon. And like, yeah, like every like technical aspect of the movie, like, yeah, people might complain about like the natural lighting, but it's done like perfectly. Like there's scenes where it's dark, but it's medieval times. It's the Dark Ages. It's the end of the Dark Ages. There's no like Thomas Edison has not come and revolutionized this world yet.
Right.
It's dark, and it's supposed to be. And there's plenty of firelight and lamplight and stuff. So don't hold your horses. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I do like the scene like when Nicholas Hoult, Thomas gets to like the Romani village, and they're all just like, don't do that. What are you doing? Don't do that. And he's like, no, realtors. I'm from the Realty Association, and I must do my realtor duties.
Yes.
So they just rob him and take his horse, and then he's like, oh, he has to walk up the hill. Great, good stuff. What else are we forgetting? Anything great? And we could probably get to the whole like good versus evil. I like all the characters have slightly different names. I don't know which version of the Dracula story these names are from, but like there's no Van Helsing or Jonathan Harker. Like nobody is anybody else. They all have new names, which is I think is also kind of cool.
Yeah. I think as it gets towards the end of the movie, like the inevitability of kind of Lily Rose Depp's character and what she has to go through kind of sets in. And like we've all seen so many vampire stories at this point. So it all leads towards kind of the same thing of dying in each other's arms in the sunlight as we burn away. And that is what we do here. But I think it's done very, very well. And I think the last shot of the movie is completely tragic, like
the practical effects as well.
Yeah.
Great. Like masterful, dare I say.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah, I think the whole like lead up to that end scene too is really, really good. Like Nicholas Hoult and Willem Dafoe, and then they all go to the castle and like he's not here. And then just again the whole scene with Lily Rose Depp, I think that was really, really good. Again, all of the stuff that she was doing in this movie was great. Like I don't know if like she actually was like doing all of this weird stuff with her face and the convulsing and all of that, but it's really good.
Yeah, it's not even over the top. It doesn't venture, it doesn't even toe the line of parody. Like I fully believe like it's like it even ventures into like, and they say it in the movie, it ventures into like a possession story even, which I think is accurate because like she's not possessed by a demon, she's like physically a possession of
literally
a supernatural being. So yeah, and like so that's a good way of looking at it as well. Thank you if you're joining us, by the way. If you're watching live, we appreciate it. If you're a first-time viewer, there's tons of content here for you.
Absolutely.
Anything we're forgetting before we jump over to our ratings?
There's plenty we're forgetting. Willem Dafoe is just great in this movie. When he lights his pipe by way of the Christmas tree, that confirms this is a Christmas movie.
Yes.
So
yes,
good on that. And yeah, he just shows up and he's going to be in every Robert Eggers movie till the end of time. And he's the best part of every Robert Eggers movie, usually. And here I would say he almost is, but Lily Rose Depp, she won the day, man. It's crazy. I cannot.
The one thing I'm probably forgetting is like the big tragic arc of like Aaron Taylor Johnson's family. Like, like the fact that like he and his family are left as the Lily Rose Depp's caretakers. And they go through like the shit while Thomas is out as like being kidnapped by Orlok and doing his own thing. So they go through all the crap with her of like watching her go nuts and tying her to the bed and bringing the experts, paying out of pocket to get this antiquity care for her. And then at the end, he's like once Thomas comes back, he's just like, bro, get the fuck out of my house. Like I'm done with this shit. Get out. And like Orlok comes right in and swoops as soon as they leave. Orlok comes in and wipes out his whole family.
That's like the scariest part of the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, good call.
Excellent scene. Abby, anything? I'll give you last words before we jump to ratings.
No, I mean, I was gonna say, like, I'm realizing like how much stuff is actually like in this movie, like how many little different like plot points and different like characters and how everybody connects. And I think all of it is done really well. Like I was never bored in this movie, and it's a little over 2 hours long. It doesn't feel that long either. So I think just all of the connections between all of the characters, all of like the story points just really worked well.
I agree. See it in theaters, everybody. I think we might all have the same rating. I'll go first. This is a 5-star movie, everybody. It's 5 stars. It's gonna be in my top 10. I don't know exactly where in my top 10 it's going to be. It's not the only 5-star movie I've had this year, but it's a 5-star movie. It's a masterwork. Robert Eggers knows what he's doing. We knew from when this was announced, he knew what he was doing, and he didn't stumble. This is it. Go see it. Let me take that down. Abby, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, it's a 5-star movie for me as well. I think everything worked really, really well in this movie. If I had to give a negative, it's the same as Aaron's. I think the look of Orlok, I was slightly underwhelmed by it because there was like all this hype of like, oh, they're not showing him in the trailers. People are getting pissed off on Twitter because they're spoiling how he looks. So I was like, this is going to be good. And he's fine. Like it's historically accurate. But that would be my only like little nitpick. I think everything else in this movie is perfect. And I think I have an idea of where I'm going to put this in my top 10. I have been very picky with my 5-star movies. This is actually only my 3rd movie that I've given 5 stars this year. So I have an idea of where I'm going to put it.
Top 3, I'm sure. Aaron, what do you think?
Yeah, add it to my pile of 5-star movies. I am not picky with I'm a 5-star whore. If I love it, I'm just going to give it out. And she hasn't seen either Josh O'Connor movie this year. Or Patrick O'Connor movie this year. Or Josh, it's Josh. But either way, 5 stars for this movie for me as well. Robert Eggers has one movie so far for me that's not 5 stars. It's a 4.5 in the overhated The Northman. Justice for The Northman. People just shit on that movie way too much, and it's unfair. But yeah, this is great. Orlok, to me, I've come to an acceptance about it to where I've actually learned to appreciate it in my own mind, I guess, that it's not just the same powder looking tall thin man. So,
and for the last time this year, we're going to talk about the Why We Love Horror Challenge. We're saying goodbye to the Why We Love Horror Challenge 2024. For the last time, you can go to this website, which is where everything for 2024 is stored. All 52 weeks. You can see what I watched. You can see what Abby watched. You can see what Aaron watched. And anybody else that completed the challenge, you can click on the tag and see what they watched as well. This week was very simple. Keep it simple. Watch a movie from your watch list, a horror movie from your watch list that you want to see. You get to pick it. Aaron, what did you watch?
So I decided to trust John, who has suggested this movie to me a little while ago. So I added it to my watch list of like 4 movies. And it's Night of the Demon, Jacques Tourneur's movie, Cat People director. That's the only thing I had saw of his. Actually, I saw I Walked with Zombies as well. This is my favorite of his movies. I really, really like this movie. I do think that it could easily be, dare I say, remade. And I think the themes would really apply well to today. Dana Andrews, very underrated leading man from the 50s and 60s. Watch anything with Dana Andrews.
Abby, what are you going to watch?
What am I going to watch?
Yeah.
Well, there's many options. Just follow me on Letterboxd and you can see what I watch. I will finish this challenge. I've been so good this year, but I have slipped from it.
It's okay. We trust you. We trust Abby. I finished out with a movie that I believe was on Letterboxd's Horrorville's top 50 of 2022. That's why it made it on my watch list. The Elderly, Viejos in Spanish. It's crazy. Like it was, I was not expecting. It's about old people, but it's fucked up. It's like real. It gets real gritty and like it's the kind of Spanish horror I like. It's like Wreck level. It's like that level of like, holy shit, are they going to do it? And they go for it. It's about a heat wave. It's about like the end of the world heat wave in Madrid, and old people are going berserk. I'm not going to spoil any more than that. Check out The Elderly. I highly recommend it. Right. And then looking forward to next year, the 2025 challenge is already up at this website here, box.it. Capital A, capital K, lowercase a, capital O, capital M, account. The 2025 challenge is up. We'd appreciate it if you go there, make your list. Join with us, interact with us, let us know what you're watching, tag all the movies, bother us. We'd love it if you would bother us.
This challenge is great, people. Like my average rating for this challenge is probably a 3.5. Like it's been a very, very few bad movies. And our prompts for next year, if you haven't seen, go check out the video on the channel right now where we break down the entire Letterboxd list. It's like 4 videos back. Yeah,
it's our Thanksgiving video. We covered the Why We Love Horror Letterboxd challenge. We can't stress enough, like, we're growing this community by leaps and bounds. We already have more subscribers than the Pierce Co. Fuck you, Jordan. So there we go. That being said, though, that's it for the video this week. We appreciate the people that are watching us live. We appreciate the people with your comments. Thank you.
Support Nosferatu. Thank you, guys.
If you haven't seen it already, go see Nosferatu in theaters. See it in Dolby. See it in IMAX. See it in whatever format they let you see it in. The bigger, the better, I would imagine. It's really, really good.
Yes.
Like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Join us on Facebook. You get all the whole span of what we're doing each week in order. Mondays, it's Versus. Thursdays, you're watching it. It's not normally live. We're just live this week. And if it works well, hell, maybe, I don't know. If you guys are cool with it, I would go live every week on Thursdays.
Yeah, we'll figure it out as we
We
go.
might figure it out. You let us know. Do you like this? If you like it, we'll do it. And Fridays is always Why We Love Horror Trivia, the best horror trivia minds in the world going head to head here on YouTube. And then Sundays now, Why We Love Horror TV. We'll be covering episode 4 of Dexter this weekend. And my wife's there, and she promises she's going to wear a tank top for the boys out there. So they'll be there.
Oh, watch out, guys.
Check that out, guys. It's gonna be another reason to watch. 2 more big reasons to watch this Sunday on Why We Love Horror TV. Until next time, though, I am JWMaher, and that's Abby Brooks and Aaron Brooks, and this has been Why We Love Horror.